Alright, it's the latest anime by Trigger. Wait, what? But it just looks just like Kill la Kill, but prettier. I mean, what's Trigger even up to? Ah! Okay, let's just forget we ever believed anything good could come from these people. Just cue title scene. The Rolling Girls is a 2015 comedy anime that, yes, looks a lot like Kill la Kill. Don't worry, we'll get to that. But basically, this is a comedy anime made by the same people who brought you Attack on Titan. Why did they do this instead of Attack on Titan Season 2? Your guess is as good as mine. But basically, this series was getting a lot of attention. A lot of people were interested for the reasons I've already kind of alluded to. But when we all saw it, we were kind of taken back a bit. The plot was kind of in your face and insane. Basically, it's the near future, post-apocalypse, big war with giant robots, because why the hell not? And basically, Japan has reverted back to its original districts or provinces or whatever they were called back in the ancient times. And if that's not enough, there's for some strange reason weird magic powers running around that seem to come from heartstones that are never really explained, but who cares because it looks insane and it's awesome and it's why the hell not. But basically the series follows this girl and her friends as they travel around Japan trying to right wrongs and solve problems under the guise being called peace brokers. And you think, great setup. And based on the first two episodes, really fun. A lot of great action you see, a lot of insane, wacky visuals. The show looks great. That is its best compliment. The backgrounds are all way detailed, but they're all bright and happy, so you don't really feel disgusted or anything. And they have a lot of detail, and you really get a sense for the world we're in. It's just this bright, crazy, insane, nutball world, and you think it's going to be fun and actiony and enjoyable, and you're going to like the characters, and it's all going to work out, and it'll be a fun, great time, and it's none of those things. Holy fucking jeez, what a train wreck. This series, really at its core, had so much fucking potential, but you can't judge something for what it isn't. You can only judge it for what it is. And what it is a big mess because the plot just sort of devolves. It's just sort of every episode of these two-episode kind of mini arcs that basically follow these girls as they attempt to solve problems. I say attempt because, honestly, I don't think they saved one thing or solved one problem during the entire series. They just sort of show up, meddle with a few things, tinker, but for the most part, everything sort of goes along the path it would have, rather they'd shown up or not. In fact, a couple of times I feel like all they did was make things worse. And maybe you could play that up for the humor, but it's not really working here because our characters aren't very interesting. Our protagonist is just this Venn diagram, one-dimensional girl. She doesn't leave much of an impact. She's not unlikable. I thought she was fine for what she was. But the problem is that when you get comedies that have these big, insane, convoluted-looking worlds and this big, insane, convoluted action scenes and plots, you need characters who follow suit and are part of that sort of world. But here she's just this Venn diagram normal girl. She just ends up fading into the background and you really don't care or get invested in what she's trying to do. I liked her enough that I couldn't really say I hated her, but she just wasn't interesting or memorable, and the same goes for almost every other character in this. There's literally a sidekick character in here who I don't even know why she was here. She had 2 or 3 lines an episode. And if that's not enough, there's like this tough chick, and I thought, okay, we'll probably get some good lines from her. For some reason, she doesn't wear a shirt. I don't know why. But honestly, she's just sort of this insufferable, complaining, whining brat who just wants to get stronger or something for reasons that are never really explained. The only one who was kind of funny is this girl named Chio. She's the only one who has a design that I kind of think really fits the scope of this show. And even though she's not big or in your face, she's actually so subdued and simple and nice and all that stuff to the point where that becomes interesting. And that's how shows like this need to function. Everything needs to be the extreme. You can't just have this middle ground bullshit that would work in a normal type of show, but in something like this, just causes everything to fade to the background. And even at that, the plots and adventures they go on aren't that interesting, partially because we're just switching perspectives between plot, them doing silly stuff, plot, them doing silly stuff. And these two things very rarely ever relate to each other or have much of an impact on the overall story. And while we're on the subject, there's really no overall story. They set it up that there's like this mystery with these people trying to get the Heartstones and do all this stuff with them, and you wonder what it is. But honestly, by the time we get to it, it's so shoehorned and then just thrown in there at the end so that way there can be an ending, which at least it does have an ending, that I don't care. It's convoluted, it's stupid, and I don't like anybody. And it ultimately makes me wonder, who was this show made for? It's very simple and it's so nice looking. You assume it's for kids, but the plots get so convoluted and annoying that kids would never understand it. So maybe it's for adults. It says it's for teens, and there's a lot of violent action at the beginning that we all wanted, but none of that's in there, and it all feels like it's very much for kids. All was said and done, Rolling Girls was boring, bland, disappointing. Chio was fun. The visuals always looked nice. I give that credit. And the action at the beginning and the end, though overall pointless and just sort of padding, was still really cool. So I will say Rolling Girls is a 4 out of 10. It's just no. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this anime, when you think Attack on Titan 2 Season 2 will show up, or even if you want it at this point. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe and continue screaming.